Blog Talk Radio.
What time is it?
WH Radio. We are the best in the world at what we do.
Welcome to Wrestling Heads Radio. This is me, Oscar. I'm just enjoying a little, well, I don't want to say enjoy, but hope you guys enjoyed Monday Night Raw, which has just happened. Joining me now, I got the man who doesn't have Jerry with them, but I got Tom with me. What's going on, Tom?
Not much. Got a big show ahead of us. Got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight.
Yes, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Not only about Raw we just saw. We're going to talk about NJPW Power Struggle that happened this past weekend. And a little bit of big news that happened earlier today between, or you can say about PWG. But let's just start off and say, let's talk about Raw first. First of all, before we talk about Raw, what do you think about this episode of Raw? Because for me, it was hard for me to enjoy it because I got spoiled by two people I could blame. One is the WWE, and two, Skip. He spoiled something for me earlier today. So I try to enjoy it, but I cannot give her
I read some spoilers too. But I mean, you know, even if I read spoilers, it doesn't usually take away from a show. But I mean, Raw to me tonight was it wasn't necessarily like bad or anything. It was just kind of like, you know, it was pretty boring. You know, there wasn't, you know, a whole lot going on. It was mostly just, you know, continuing the storylines heading into Survivor Series. So it wasn't bad, but, you know, it wasn't good. It was just kind of like bland.
Yeah, you see, this is me. I don't like to read spoilers at all, but how I found out what's going on Raw was that WWE was tweeting pictures and shit like Ryback slamming John Cena. I was like, what? He's joining the Authority tonight? You know, shit like that. That spoils for me, you know? So I'm like, fuck. So when it comes to spoilers or shit like that, I don't like to read it because it'll kind of, you know, for me, it'll kind of throw away the show. For me, like, try to enjoy it, you know? Like, you already know what's going down, you know? So,
yeah.
So basically, if anybody's listening that didn't watch Raw, I'll tell you what happened on Raw. You could say I found out a few hours ago instead of 2 hours ago or so when the show started, or 3 hours ago. Pretty much Raw started off with John Cena coming out, and he wanted to talk to Ryback. I guess what happened on SmackDown, Kane was trying to recruit him to Team Authority. So I guess he came to Ryback and asked him what he's going to do, and the Team Authority came out, and then Ryback grabbed the mic, and he said he's not afraid of Authority. Cena doesn't sign his paycheck, whatever, and then he just slammed Cena, basically just giving an answer that he's joining Team Authority for Survivor Series, which he also announced Mark Henry will also be a part of it. And, that was pretty much the beginning of Raw. Tom, let me ask you a question. How did you find out with the whole Ryback situation joining Team Authority? Was it from Raw or earlier today from the tweet?
Earlier today from the tweets.
All right.
So I kind of knew that this was going to happen.
Yeah, same here. I knew it was going to happen. And that's pretty much how Raw started off with. And I tried to stay away from the matches part, but the first opening match was actually Seth Rollins going against Jack Swagger. And then Rollins ended up winning, but then Jack Swagger ended up getting hurt. I'm guessing they did that because they're afraid that maybe Swagger would join Team Cena, I guess. So that's what happened. before we move on, Tom, what do you think about that match between Swagger and Seth Rollins?
I thought it was good. You know, good back and forth action. But you know, it was, you know, there wasn't really anything special about the match. It was just a good solid match. Nothing more than that.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty much what started off there. After that, they showed a little thing backstage with Dean Ambrose talking about Bray Wyatt, which they announced that it's going to be Dean Ambrose going against Bray Wyatt at Survivor Series. They were showing the little video package of what happened on SmackDown last Friday with the whole Bray Wyatt thing and Dean Ambrose. Bray Wyatt telling Dean Ambrose he can heal him like he healed Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. So so now let me ask you a question. Now that it's official, what do you think of the Survivor Series match between Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt?
It should be good. Obviously, both those guys are brawlers. They can go out there and just beat each other up. You know, at first, I think people knew that it was going to be, you know, it's going to be a good feud. I don't think it's necessarily going to end at Survivor Series. I think they can maybe push it to the Royal Rumble, but I'm not sure exactly what they're going to do with it. But I will say, you know, when they first started off with the first couple of promos, I wasn't really too into it. But, you know, as the weeks are going on, I'm starting to enjoy the promos more. You know, last week on SmackDown, they had a really good promo, and then, you know, Bray Wyatt was up on the stage in his rocking chair, and the lights went out, and then when the lights came back on, he wasn't there, kind of like on Raw, but except this time, the camera went to Dean Ambrose, and Bray Wyatt was right behind him with that crazy look on his face. So that was pretty cool. I like that. But I think it should be a good match. I think that this feud's going to be, you know, not just kind of like a one-time thing. I think it can be dragged out for a little bit, which I think it should be good anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of agree with you with the whole Bray Wyatt feud, like how you could expand it with him and Ambrose. Right now, I want to see if I can go to TLC, but Royal Rumble, I'm not there yet. But after Survivor Series, and see what happens afterwards. Right now, I'm sort of enjoying the little, you know, mic work between the two during this feud. I like the whole eerie thing what Bray Wyatt's doing, and how Dean responds to it. Remember how in the end, and that little promo we did backstage says that, you know, he hopes that hell has a special place for both of them. That's freaking awesome, dude. If you guys missed Raw, you guys got to check that little promo with Dean Ambrose. It was freaking great. But, yeah, Survivor Series, it's official between those two. Yeah. All right. Next match, you got Paige getting a great crowd reaction because Raw was taking place in the UK, which that's where she's from. She went out against Alicia Fox, which they were best friends, and all of a sudden they she turned on her, you can say, and then they went out there, and obviously Paige won the match in her home country, you could say. And it was funny that if you look back to the last time they were there, I think they both wrestled each other, and Alicia Fox beat Paige. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, months later, they went at it again, and Paige this time beat Alicia Fox. And, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. I don't know if you have any comment for that, Matthew Paige and Alicia Fox.
It was okay. I think they can work well together, but you know, it's the story of the Divas where they don't get a lot of time, whether it's on pay-per-view or Raw, you know, unless you're the Bellas, which, I mean, nowadays they don't even get a whole lot of time. They still only get a couple minutes. The only time that they were getting more screen time was in the feud with Stephanie McMahon. So, it was just kind of a typical Divas match. Nothing to write home about.
Yeah, definitely. I get what you're saying right there. Yeah, not typical Divas match, but hey, I think I'm happy that Paige get a reaction from the whole country, which she deserves. So, yeah, shout out to UK for doing that. Hold on, before we move on to Raw, I just want to let listeners know, you guys could call in, join the conversation if you like. Call in at 760-454-1107, or you can tweet us at WrestlingHeads and give us your thoughts about Raw while we're on, and we'll probably share tweets, or we'll just you guys could call in and give us your opinion. And another thing that dude in Louisiana, if you're gonna call in, we're not gonna put you on. I know your freaking number, so don't bullshit with me this time. Even though your Saints lost yesterday. Oh. Yeah. All right then. There was a little backstage thing going on with Rusev. Looked like he was going into the to the ringside area, but then Stephanie McMahon stopped Rusev and Lana. Stephanie wanted an answer from Lana because last week she asked her if Lana can just or pretty much if Rusev want to join Team Authority. There was a final spot open for them, and then next thing you notice, you got Lana didn't really give her an answer. She just still said she'll think about it. Stephanie got a little upset because basically she did him a favor, giving Rusev a title match for that exclusive free WWE Network match against Sheamus, and won the U.S. title. So basically, she wants a little favor back, just joining to the Authority. So she got a little upset that he's still going to come out and answer. There was no answer yet. There's no yes yet, you can say. But, yeah, so I guess you let her think about it more. So then after the commercial break, Rusev went to the ringside with another speaker, you can say, and Lana trashing the UK about how the Russians support their military or whatever, and if it weren't for that, the British would be speaking German. They had somebody there, he's like a little speaker, there's Russian, I guess, I don't want to say congratulations, but he was like something like how Rusev got another accomplishment winning the United States title last week, but then he got interrupted by Sheamus, and then I guess there was announced there was a rematch going on between the two, so it went to commercial break afterwards. When the commercial break came back on, after the commercial break, you can say, Sheamus and Rusev had a match. We're bringing a rematch from last week for the United States title. So, yeah, it wasn't great like last week, you can say, but that's basically what happened. Question, Tom, what's your thoughts of the situation? Oh, no, actually, you know what? Before I show you that thought, there was another note, you can say a little note you can add to this. Jamie Noble and Mercury were there, and basically they cost Sheamus the match because they both were outside the ring. Rusev went in first. Sheamus threw him in when it was during the 9 count or on the 9th count, and then before he went to 10, Jamie Noble and Mercury pretty much distracted Sheamus, and Sheamus attacked them both, and then the referee counted to 10, and that's basically what happened. Rusev retained the United States Championship from the account. Thanks for the Stooges of 2014. I like to call them. Dom, you have anything to comment with that match between Rusev and Sheamus?
I didn't think it was as good as their match last week after Raw was off the air and it was on the network. I didn't think it was as good as that. It was a little bit more slower pace. It just didn't feel as good as their match last week. but it was still okay. You know, like I said, it wasn't horrible. It was just, I think it was a little bit more boring.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah, and plus, you know, the crowd was actually doing some chants, you know, like, oh, lay chant, or like, oh, shit, is Sami Zayn coming out? Yeah, they're doing some couple of chants out there. The UK crowd's freaking wild out there. Yeah, shout out to UK fans out there. After the match, Rusev was backstage again, and Stephanie went up to them again, and Stephanie wants an answer if Rusev would team up or join Team Authority, you can say. And then we got an answer, and I guess he gave an answer to yes, they will join Team Authority. So they got their 5 already. So Team Authority is going to be Seth Rollins teaming up against, not against, but they're going to be teaming up with Kane, Ryback, Mark Henry, and Rusev. So that's your 5 for Team Authority. What's your thoughts of this group of Team Authority and adding Mark Henry and Rusev?
I think I kind of knew that they were going to add Mark Henry and Rusev too. You know, they kind of hinted at Rusev last week. But I figured that Big Show was going to be on Team Cena, Mark Henry was going to be on Team Authority. And it's like, I don't mind Rusev on Team Authority, except for the fact that I wonder how he's going to get eliminated. You know, is he going to get pinned for the first time? Is he going to be disqualified? So that's going to be interesting to see. But as far as, you know, like Mark Henry being on the team and, you know, the Big Show, I don't care about either of those guys. I'm sick of them. I don't care about their storyline, and I don't think a lot of people care. You know, I think those spots, I think you could put other people in those spots, and it would be better. But, yeah, it's WWE, so.
Yeah, definitely. The Team Rusev is actually getting stronger. Not Team Rusev. Why come on Team Rusev? Team Authority. Damn it. Team Authority looks stronger and stronger. Team Cena looks like they're in trouble. That led to a little backstage interview between Dolph and Cena. They were backstage, you know, talking about, you know, what's going on with Team Authority. They got their team already set. They still have just Cena and Swagger there, you know. So basically they're trying to figure out what the heck they're going to do. And then all of a sudden you have Triple H came in because they were talking because Cena and Dolph were talking about, like, you know, Cena wanted to be in the corner of Dolph during his match with Mark Henry, but then Triple H told Cena he's banned from ringside. So then Dolph Ziggler had to go against Mark Henry by himself, and which they did. It was a short match because basically Mark Henry just wanted to destroy Dolph Ziggler. He just threw a chair in his face, by the way. I don't know if you saw that. He hit him right in the fucking face. And, yeah, that's what happened. And that's what you get. Basically, Mark Henry wanted to destroy him. And then you have the Big Show came out helping Dolph Ziggler. Mark Henry ran out. Big Show grabbed the mic and he said he's going to join Team Cena. So now they got a new member, Team Cena. It's the Big Show. So, Tom, what's your thing? Big Show is going to be part of Team Cena.
Yeah, like I said, Big Show. It's just like I don't care about Big Show anymore. And I like how he put himself on John Cena's team. Like, John Cena didn't pick him. He kind of just said, oh, well, I'll be on John Cena's team. It's just like, you know, everybody else John Cena was kind of hand-picking except for Big Show. So I thought that was funny.
Yeah. Well, it's all good. At least they got somebody. That's the Big Show, right? So, yeah. So basically, Big Show is going to join them, and now now what looks like now is John Cena teaming up with Dolph Ziggler and Big Show, and he needs two more going against Seth Rollins, Ryback, Kane, Rusev, and Mark Henry. Well, some more authority talk, and I got to talk about something stupid. So stupid at Raw, which I'm not happy about, but it looks like a heel turn's happening, which it sort of started back in SmackDown. You can say that it looks like Adam Rose turning heel. He turned on, not really turned on the Bunny, but weapon on SmackDown last week that the Bunny cost Adam Rose a match on SmackDown, and then Adam Rose got pissed and he kicked the Bunny in the gut. So today, Adam Rose had a match with Tyson Kidd, and Kidd beat Rose, and once again Rose attacked the Bunny again. So let's see what happened. And yeah, that's what happened. So Tom, what you think? Adam Rose turning heel, and now he attacked the Bunny twice now in a matter of a week. So what's your thoughts on all that?
I mean, in a way, it's good because at least he's like getting out of that stupid freaking character that he's in now. Maybe we'll see a darker side, kind of like how Leo Kruger was down in NXT. But you know, I wouldn't even maybe expect that. I don't know. But at the same time, it's like I don't care about Adam Rose at this point anymore. I mean, he's irrelevant. You know, he's just not a big part of the main roster. And, you know, now most likely because of this, we're probably I'd say there's a 90% chance we're going to see Adam Rose versus the Bunny at Survivor Series, which that should be a match of the year candidate right there.
Yeah, match of year candidate. Adam Rose against the Bunny. Well, this whole Adam Rose thing was freaking bizarre, you could say, because I was shocked to hear when I saw those vignettes after WrestleMania that Adam Rose debuted, like, what? Adam Rose coming to main roster? What? You serious? But then next thing you notice, it became a total failure. I don't think Vince McMahon likes the character and all. I'd rather him go back to Leo Kruger. I actually like the Leo Kruger character, you know, and hopefully this leads back to him. And you notice he's growing the beard back too. You notice that, right?
Maybe, but you know, like I said, with how creative handles a lot of the undercard guys on the main roster, I don't know. Maybe we will see a darker Adam Rose.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see what happens. About the Bunny and fucking Adam Rose match at freaking Survivor Series, I'll be like, I don't know. Hopefully, if it's a rumor that Darren Young's getting the Bunny, you might as well have him reveal it's the Bunny and kick Adam Rose's ass and get it over with. Fuck it. That's my thoughts of the freaking Bunny and this stupid thing. And I guess, and something we probably forget in the next couple of years, that this actually happened. All right. Yeah. Also, they announced on the WWE Network, which I'm actually watching right now, they added they got 47 episodes of ECW Hardcore TV. And right now, I'm actually watching it right now, ECW Exposed. Yeah, so if you guys have a chance, if you have W Network, check it out. ECW was a great brand. I remember my uncle has to record tapes on his VCR because he had ECW where in the area he lived. I didn't. So that's the only way I could watch ECW back in the day, you know. And now they're adding episodes at the time where I guess the time my uncle recorded for me, you know, to keep up with ECW, like times when Austin was there and RVD, Taz, you know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they were just talking about it, and Paul Heyman was talking about some of the guys that would have worked well in the old ECW. He said Dolph Ziggler would have been a star in the old ECW. And what's something that's, I mean, it's not really surprising, but I think a lot of people are going to be like, whoa, how could Paul Heyman say that? Is that he said John Cena would have been a big star in the old ECW. He said, you know, regardless of what, you know, people think of him, you know, whatever people say, the guy, you know, he's on top for, you know, a reason. He says, I mean, he didn't, obviously John Cena has, you know, the muscles, which is why he's on TV. But he, you know, Paul Heyman said he has the work ethic. He can connect with crowds either as a, you know, as a face or a heel. And, you know, he made a good point. I mean, the next point that he made, I guess it's kind of skewed in where he said The Rock and Stone Cold were only on top for a couple of years, and John Cena has been on the top of the WWE for 10. You know, at that same point, it's like John Cena has only really been on top because WWE's kept it that way, because WWE has continuously, you know, shoved him down our throats and, you know, kept him in the main event scene. But I don't think it takes away anything from Cena. You know, I can bash Cena, and there's obviously a lot of negatives with this character, but, I mean, he seems like a pretty good guy, and obviously, you know, he was working hard down in, you know, OVW and stuff, and he got to the top on his own. You know, there were plenty of other guys when he debuted that had, you know, muscles like him, but, you know, he stood out, you know. So that was just something that I noticed.
Yeah, definitely. We got a caller call in. It's somebody that did not watch Raw, but I did bet you want to talk about Power Struggle, which we're not there yet. But Mr. W.H. Skits, what's going on, man?
What's going on?
Not much, man. Just doing the show and at the same time watching ECW Exposed, man.
What's up? I'm over here, you know, on my break, eating and talk. Let's talk real quick.
Yeah. I enjoyed Raw, but you kind of spoiled me, showing me that poster of a Survivor Series, which could be something that be very interesting, which we haven't got there yet. We're gonna get to the main event of what happened on Raw today, which would end up being Ryback and John Cena. But before the main event happened, Ryback was in his locker room. Pretty much, he got sick of it with guys like Seth Rollins, Kane, Mark Henry. They're all cheering up Ryback pretty much, like, hey, welcome to the team and all this stuff. But then, you know, I guess Ryback got a little sick of it, so they had their match, which better than I expected, you could say. But then Cena won by DQ because Kane attacked John Cena, and then I guess Ryback didn't like that.
Thanks for the spoilers.
Before we go on,
guys.
Before we go on,
why you call in then?
I mean, I'm not calling to talk about Raw. I mean, you think I'm gonna talk about Raw?
Well, let's finish up Raw. Let's finish up Raw real quick, and then
we can't finish on Raw. I have 15 minutes, so we can't finish on Raw. Let's talk something real quick. You know, I'm a caller right now. I'm not a host, something like that. I'm gonna talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling.
This guy.
I just want to talk about Red Dragon and Time Splitters tag team match. It was phenomenal. It was great. Two of the best tag teams in the world. Of course, we have new IWGP Junior tag champs, Red Dragon. And the thing that really pumped me up after that match, you know, you had the Bucks come down, you had Forever Hooligans come down, and you have Time Splitters all, you know, saying like they're coming for that title next. And those are the top 4 tag teams in the world. I mean, if you want to put the Wolves in for 5, that's cool. And it's booked for Wrestle Kingdom too? Like, come on. That's like every fucking, wrestling fan's dream to see those guys in one match, and of course we got, Kota Ibushi and Nakamura, they're going to go at it. I mean, I'm pumped, for Wrestle Kingdom, and I might just order that shit. And it's going to be for pay-per-view too?
Yeah, I believe it'll be on pay-per-view. My question is how it's going to work, because Japan is 11 hours ahead of us, so is it something that you can order?
I'm not sure, but I think the deal with the pay-per-view is it might be, like, on a delay. Like, maybe you can order it live, but I think you'll be able to order it, whenever you want, because, Power Struggle this weekend, it started 3 o'clock in the morning over here on the East Coast, and it didn't end till around, I would say maybe 7. So that's tough for a lot of people, East Coast or even West Coast to even stay up for that. So I would think that they would do something where I guess you could order it and watch it live, but I bet most people probably aren't. They're probably going to order
trust
it
me. It's going to be a lot of
watch
people.
It later.
It's going to be a lot of fucking people stand their asses up. Like my boy Chris is one of them, and I know.
I'll probably stay up for Wrestle Kingdom. I stayed up for Power Struggle.
The guys that hold the Twitter account Voices of Wrestling, I know those guys. They stay their asses up and watching. Like, there's gonna be some fans. Like, don't think people are gonna stay up that's from the United States that's not gonna watch. Wrestle Kingdom. This is also. Brought to you by Global Force. This is their first project. This is a big deal. Like, I think it's a big deal myself. And I hope every other wrestling fan thinks it's a big deal too. So, and
yeah, I mean, it's a big deal, but I'm still kind of on the fence about it. I want to see what Global Force is going to do with the pay-per-view. Who are they going to have on commentary? How are they going to present the pay-per-view? Because
word in the streets is from a source of mine, and it's not my boy Chris, but I'm pretty sure he's told me this. Jim Ross is definitely one of those people who is being the part of the English commentary. So I was talking to a friend of mine that is a former wrestler, Dirty Dan Dayton. I see him here at the Kings games a lot, and he knows some shit too. He told me that JR might be calling the matches for the English side, so we'll see. And real quick on that tag team match, I believe I was tweeting about it, and a friend of mine, I don't know if he's listening, but Nathan, come on, how can you call my boys, the Young Bucks, overrated? Like, you're gonna make me just throw my phone. Don't call the Bucks overrated. But
really?
But yeah.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But hold on, we got a caller on the line. Hold on 1 second. 540 area code. You're live on Wrestling Heads Radio. Who's speaking?
Good evening. This is John. How y'all doing?
Doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I gotta say, Raw was a pretty good show. Average show.
I'm out of here.
Wasn't bad, but I think it was a decent show.
All right. So that was a decent show.
Not bad, but as of Ryback, joining Team of 40 on the first hand, and then turning his back on them 3 hours later. And the ending segment of Raw with Eric Rowan and Dolph Ziggler, that was kind of confusing to me, but I understand why they did it. And Eric Rowan said about being a team player. Does this mean he's going to join the 40 at Survivor Series?
Oh, you're talking about ending with Luke Harper. Yeah.
Luke Harper. I'm sorry. I'm messed up.
Yeah, just for everybody that's listening, just to let you guys know, Ryback did attack the rest of the Authority because he was upset what happened. They cost him the match, pretty much. And then you had somebody threw Dolph Ziggler in front of Triple H and Stephanie, which is Luke Harper. So what it looks like to me is that you had Luke, or the Survivor Series match, it looks like it's going to be Seth Rollins, the leader, with Rusev, Mark Henry, Kane, and Luke Harper, all teaming up against John Cena, Dolph Ziggler, Sheamus, Big Show, and Ryback. That's what it looks like now. I don't know about Randy Orton. He could possibly make an appearance because if you guys notice, Survivor Series is in St. Louis. Or they'll do some old school classic thing like, okay, all of a sudden the Big Show got injured, and then they need a replacement. All of a sudden you hear Randy Orton's music. That could probably happen. Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like.
Can I say something really quick?
Go for it.
2001. Remember, it was 2001. Well, Kurt Angle and Stone Cold were on the same team, but I could see a swerve happening similar to 2001. Randy Orton turned on Seth Rollins.
But
I could see that very much happen. But he turned face anyway.
But they already turned on Randy Orton, I believe, 2 weeks ago. And they already know that Randy Orton's not on the side of the Authority anymore.
Yeah, he's not with the Authority. Yeah, that's right, because he's not with the Authority. And if they have Orton back by at Survivor Series, costing Seth Rollins the match, that is going to be the downfall of Triple H and Stephanie's Authority, you know?
Yeah.
But Team Authority, look, they have a big team. I mean, Kane, Rusev, Mark Henry, and Luke Harper, if he's joining them. But, I mean, think of all the weight advantage right here. You have 900 pounds of power. I'm talking about Kane, Harper, Rusev, and Henry. Sheamus, Ziggler, Cena, and Show, they've all been former World Heavyweight Champions. It's a star-studded matchup in the Survivor Series, so something's definitely got to give in this match.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Ambrose versus Wyatt real quick before I go. Now it's been confirmed that Ambrose's father, that the secret's out, and now Ambrose's father is in prison. Are we going to know about this secret storyline? Is there going to be more to it?
That's what me and Tom were saying that earlier, that we would love to see it more expanded after Survivor Series, and maybe Bray Wyatt will
Kane Undertaker back in '97, because we all know what happened.
Yeah, I remember all that. But if Bray Wyatt could expose more dirt on Bray, on Dean, then that'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
Now you messed up.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. So see what happens in that storyline. But before we let you go, you want to say comment about this episode of Raw? Is there anything else you want to comment?
I don't think so, but I will say the worst match on Raw, even though I like AJ, but I think AJ versus Reed, I don't think it wasn't a very good match.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I
it
agree
was
with you there.
it was all right, but like I said, they don't give the divas a lot of time. So what can you do?
And let me tell you something.
You could be the best women's
you,
wrestler on earth, and if you're only given 2 or 3 minutes, you can't do anything.
And I want to say something before I go. I guarantee you guys that Bree is going to end up costing Nikki the Divas title at Survivor Series.
Yeah, definitely. Earlier today, WWE.
Or it could lead up to, like, Bree, doing a double switcheroo on AJ and end up winning the Divas title. Because we all know the old Bella Twins tricks.
Yeah. Pretty much next week, me and Tom will give out our Survivor Series predictions. But right now, I kind of agree with you. I do think that Bree is going to cost Nikki the match at Survivor Series. And plus, that 30-day thing that she's become a slave will end pretty much at that time. So I agree with you there. I think that's what's going to happen. This is where it's leading towards to. So, I even said in the show, before the last pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell, this is going to lead to this, and then there you go. AJ is going to retain and walk out Divas Champion Survivor Series. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you for having me on the show, and
anytime.
I'll get to you. If I find you guys next week, I'll definitely call in.
Well, we'll wait for you next week then. And thanks for
All
listening. All right, take care.
No, you're welcome. Take care.
All right. Peace out. No, that was a cool-ass caller, I got to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad she's enjoying Raw, you can say. And, see what happens. But anyways, that's what happened on Raw. You see nothing too that much exciting, you can say. But Survivor Series would be
before we move on, I don't know if you liked it, but I like the fact that Luke Harper was the last face that we saw on Raw. Luke Harper closed out Raw. I mean, it wasn't a match or anything, but he was still the last face engraved in everybody's mind.
Yeah, that's what he is. He's pretty much
so
the last.
Hopefully WWE is planning big things with Mr. Harper.
Yeah, definitely. So that's basically what happened on Raw. I think we should take a little short commercial break. When we come back, we'll be either talking about New Japan Power Struggle, or we'll be talking about the big news that happened regarding PWG. So we'll be back very shortly, and I mean it, very shortly.
This is Ring of Honor superstar Nigel McGuinness, and you are listening to Wrestling Heads Radio Show. So stay tuned, you wankers.
All right, then, you wankers. Skit, you're a wanker. Shout out to Skit, anyways, for calling in. And, hold on. Before we move on, I just want to say, even though we're done talking about Raw, you guys can always call in at 760-454-1107 or tweet us at WrestlingHead. Whatever subject me and Tom are talking about, we're going to be talking about New Japan and PWG in this a little bit. But before all that, we got another caller calling in. I think I know who this is, but 865 area code. You're live on Wrestling Head.
The 865, man. You know it's
I said 865. I did 8. I did. I bought that first. 865.
I actually had a question because I noticed something on Raw tonight. Was this the first overseas pre-taped Raw in decades to have major storyline progression? We had some major storyline progression. I mean, we had the teams fill out and everything like that. I think this is the first overseas in decades.
And I wouldn't even say it was just that. I mean, we had more continuation of Ambrose and Wyatt. I mean, 2 storylines going on at once. My God, WWE is going crazy.
Usually the overseas stuff's throw away. But I called in because I wrote a column last week called these teams dead on, except for one exception, and that was Luke Harper, because I said that it would be Triple H, maybe. And then Luke Harper took over, and I still think it'll be Randy Orton. I think Sheamus is going to get knocked out somehow, and Randy Orton's going to be the surprise fifth member. So,
I was thinking of this, and I want to get both of your thoughts on this. Do you think that there is any possibility that somehow, some way, Sheamus turns on Team Cena? Because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, this is the perfect... I know they wanted to turn Sheamus heel a while ago, but they never acted on it. And I thought this is the perfect moment to kind of... to perfectly do it, set up another big heel in the company because, you know, they need both faces and heels, but I think more desperately heels. And I thought it would be a perfect way to do it.
Possibly. Maybe it'll lead towards it. I don't know if the heel turn will happen in Survivor Series. Or maybe, wait, hold on. Actually, wouldn't that make sense? I was thinking Sheamus gets knocked down, then Sheamus come on and cost Team Cena the victory. But the way I said it doesn't make sense at all. So maybe it'll lead towards it.
I think it's a great idea, though. Yeah.
I mean, it's a great idea. You know, WWE doesn't want to do it. They're like, great idea? Huh, no way. Sheamus, the crowd loves him. They always chant, fella. God, I hate face Sheamus so much.
The only thing, I didn't make a prediction on the winner because I don't know who the winner is going to be. I'm pretty sure the Authority is going to get it, but I don't know. My prediction was, my main thing was on Ryback. Ryback being on Team Cena because I think this is going to start tilling the soil for Ryback versus Rusev, and then we're going to plant the seeds at TLC or Royal Rumble, and that plant's going to grow to WrestleMania where I truly believe Ryback will be the first person to defeat Rusev.
Interesting.
I don't know. I still have this feeling that it's going to be John Cena. Not at WrestleMania particularly, but I still feel like it's going to lead up to Cena versus Rusev, and because it's too predictable. It's like too predictable for it not to happen.
Yeah, and that's the way WWE does it. Is like that's their golden boy because the reason why I want it to be Ryback is because he's really the only person I can think of on the roster right now who would not hurt Rusev in the end. If Cena beats him, that's going to end up crushing Rusev. It's going to kill all momentum. If Ryback does it, Rusev has a chance at redemption. But that's logical. And WWE is not logical. They'll go with whoever will hurt their future the most, which will probably be Cena. So.
Yeah. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Going back, you guys said possibly Rusev, Ryback, and WrestleMania. I can see that happening only if the impossible happens, which is WWE let Hulk Hogan wrestle one final match against John Cena in WrestleMania, like it was reported last week.
There's no way that happens. I mean, less than 0% chance. Hulk Hogan is way too goddamn over. And I feel like if Hogan even attempted to take a bump, he would break a hip. And I think WWE knows that. You know, I think that's the reason why they're not bringing Kurt Angle. Why, you know, they're not heavily pursuing Kurt Angle. Is because Kurt Angle's old. I mean, he's not necessarily old. He's not Hulk Hogan old, but he's beat up. Kurt Angle is at the tail end of his wrestling career. It's basically over.
Yeah.
And WWE knows that, you know, with the amount of injuries that Kurt Angle has, you can't trust, you can't trust him in the ring because, you know, Kurt Angle's crazy and he'll hurt himself countless times just to have a good match, but
yeah. Well, that's kind of the cool thing about this Survivor Series is no matter who wins, they can actually progress a good story. If the Authority loses, we have a chance at Vince McMahon versus Triple H. Well, I would call Vince McMahon calls up The Rock and we get The Rock versus Triple H at Mania. But we have a chance at that. We have a chance at a McMahon's feud. And if the Authority wins, we get top heels until WrestleMania. I'm fine with either scenario.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you guys. I don't want to see Hogan. I like Hulk Hogan, but I don't want to see him back in the ring. Seriously, not even just for one more match. He's done. He's done. I'm telling you, Hogan is done. I don't know if he even can do the damn leg drop. So, Cena versus Hogan, bad idea. Stay away from that, please. We don't want to see that. I'm planning to go to WrestleMania, which tickets go on sale this Saturday. I'm getting my ticket. I'm planning to go to WrestleMania, but I don't want to see a damn Hulk Hogan versus John Cena match. This ain't no Battle of the Titans right here. No. I don't want to see that.
The luckiest people in the world right now are the people in Dallas because they are guaranteed a blockbuster, super stacked card for WrestleMania. There is no way that WWE is not putting on an ultra show. They're gonna do what they can to get Stone Cold in there. They're gonna do what they can to get The Rock. They're gonna do what they can to get whoever because this is the biggest stadium they would put something on in, and they would be stupid not to stack that card to the roof. So people in Dallas, I feel for them. They're lucky people.
Don't forget about Undertaker. It's also from Texas, too, so don't forget about Undertaker as well.
Oh, he'll be back. He'll be back in Dallas. That will be his retirement match. I'm calling it right now. Undertaker's retirement match in Dallas. I don't know who it's going to be against. Hopefully not Sting, but I want to see Sting wrestle in Dallas. I just don't want to see it against Undertaker. I want Undertaker to do someone else. Maybe get revenge on Brock Lesnar. I don't know.
Well, I think Sting and Taker will happen at 31, which I'm going to. I think that's going to happen. Because it seems like all these matches, like Rock versus Triple H, look like that's going to happen. Cena against Rusev or Hulk Hogan could possibly happen. So who are you going to get the Undertaker? Against? Got to be Sting. I think
the Undertaker's already said he's not going to be there. Undertaker's already said he's not going to do 31. He said he'll do 32, but not 31.
I never heard this one.
All right, you got to look for it. Because he said he's not going to be at 31. He's not going to do it. Because why? He never gave a reason. He just said that he'll do 32 but not 31. I don't know what the deal is. Yeah. Well, I don't. Last time I saw Undertaker, dude was broken. He was limping, but this was 4 months ago. So he could easily have healed himself in 4 months. Dude is like a super healer. So, because he lives like right down the road. He has a house in Tennessee. And I live close to Kane too. I see him on my TV all the time. He was on my local news 2 days ago talking about domestic abuse. Not 2 days ago, last week, talking about domestic abuse. It was weird. I took a picture of it actually on Twitter.
Yeah, definitely.
The weirdest dude ever. Yeah, so I don't know.
Right.
He's a superhero. So.
Yeah.
He is. Right. He's a superhero, dude. Undertaker's the man. I want to see him at every WrestleMania until he turns like 100. I would still be there if he wheeled himself down in a wheelchair. I would still watch it and still cheer him. I don't care. I do not care. Hulk Hogan can go F and fuck himself. I don't care. Undertaker, though, I'm in. Ring General. All the stories that I've heard from Jericho and everybody about what he is backstage, how he acts backstage, I will have respect for that man for the rest of my life. So, that's cool. And I love Taker. I always will.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for sharing your thoughts, The Undertaker. That sounds like some touching thing there. But we'll see what happens with The Undertaker. We'll see in a few months when WrestleMania comes along. I'll look for that thing you said that Taker said that he's not going to do 31. I'm gonna look into it.
But I want Taker to be at 31, and I want him against Brock Lesnar, and I want him to get revenge. That's what I want to see. I want to see him beat Brock Lesnar. I don't want to see him against Sting. If they do Sting, I want it to be in Dallas because that's going to be just blockbuster. The problem I have is who loses that match. Like, is Undertaker really going to lose at WrestleMania again? And is Sting really going to have his first match in WWE be a loss? Like, you have so much trouble with that.
And
man.
we'll see. We'll see. Let's see if it happens in Dallas or in Frisco, which I could probably witness. But we'll see in the next few months when WrestleMania season come along. So, yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna be a tough one, dude. That would be that would be without a doubt the toughest match to predict. Because who would lose that match? It's not even who would win; it's who would lose. It's up in the air. Yeah, think about it. Like you don't know. Like it's like, oh, Undertaker wins that match easy. No, Sting wins that match easy. No, you can't because that's. I mean, they both still have egos, and neither of them are going to want to lose. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Personally, I think Sting gives it to Undertaker because he's always been okay with losing. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny that you mentioned up in the air. I think it's time that we stay away from WWE. I think it's something that we should talk about. That the news broke out today. You can say that it was reported that Ring of Honor's management, starting in 2015, does not want Ring of Honor talent to work in PWG no longer, and starting in 2015. So right now it's just all talk. I don't know if it's really going to happen, but I want hold on before I want to hear this from Tom first, because Tom, I'm not saying he's the hardcore PWG fan, but he's lived and breathed PWG, and he even watched the old stuff from PWG. But Tom, I want to hear from you, man. What's your thoughts of possibly no more Ring of Honor talent appearing in PWG starting next year?
I mean, right now, obviously nothing is final. It's just, another rumor. We don't know if it's going to happen. But if it does happen, it sucks because obviously there's tremendous ROH talent in PWG. Of course, this would affect Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Michael Elgin, Tommaso Ciampa, and all those guys are great talents, and they add to the PWG roster. Especially right now, Adam Cole and Roderick Strong are two top guys in PWG. So you lose them, and you lose two top guys automatically. At the same time, even if PWG does lose Ring of Honor talent, I also forgot ACH would be in this conversation, so you would lose probably ACH. At the same time, even if PWG does lose Ring of Honor talent, it won't be, I think, a major blow to them because they have so many other stars. They have so many other guys. Obviously, Kyle O'Reilly, their world champion right now, would be gone, which would be a big blow. But like I said, they build up guys like Trevor Lee, and, that's why they brought in, Biff Busick and Drew Gulak, to kind of get familiarized so they can keep bringing in those guys. So I don't think it would be a huge blow. I think it's definitely something you don't want to see because, PWG crowd loves Kyle O'Reilly. They love ACH. They love Adam Cole. They love Tommaso Ciampa. All the Ring of Honor talent that's in PWG. Reseda crowd loves them. So, it's I can see, people are talking about, well, people would want to pick PWG over, Ring of Honor because it's the funner place. But at the same time, if it came down to it, people like the Young Bucks, like if the Young Bucks were offered a contract by, like, Ring of Honor to appear for them and they said, well, you can't go to PWG, you have to think about it from a business sense in that these guys get paid way more money if they were going to go work for Ring of Honor because Ring of Honor right now is producing more shows in 2014 than they have in the past couple of years. So guys are making more money. Business is good for Ring of Honor. You know, TV is going good. They're on pay-per-view. They're doing all these, co-promotions with New Japan. And they're going to be over for Preston City Wrestling. So they're doing all these great things. So guys want to get paid and they want to feed their families. And PWG just doesn't put up enough shows per year to keep up, paying these guys. So this reminds me, I wasn't following PWG at the time it happened, but, when I look back at the history and what people have told me, it's kind of like when TNA took the talent that was in PWG out. And I think it was 2007, I think is when they took it out. Guys like Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, Chris Daniels. I don't know if AJ Styles was still doing stuff for them at that point. But they took all those guys out, and, the thing with PWG is they just keep bringing guys in. You keep making stars. So while it would be a sucky situation, it wouldn't be the end of the world for PWG because they'll keep, fans will keep coming out. They'll keep making new stars, and this could be positive for actually a lot of guys in the Southern Cal area or even anywhere in California. It would give them a chance to maybe say, hey, let's take a look at these guys or let's bring back these guys. So it's a very interesting situation. There's definitely some positives and some negatives in this. But, just hearing this rumor it's pretty crazy. But like I said, it reminds me a lot of what TNA did back with PWG in 07. So, hopefully Ring of Honor, whatever happens. And, probably, like I said, people said that it's not, Delirious and Joe Koff, who are, I believe, the two most powerful people in Ring of Honor specifically. So I think this is maybe a case of other people in Ring of Honor and maybe even up to Sinclair. It's a very interesting situation. It has its good, has its bad. So I guess, we'll see what happens. But I think overall in the end, PWG will make it just fine.
Yeah, definitely. There's something I want to point out too, but I want to hear this from Smartcast. Smartcast, what do you think about these rumors about PWG and Ring of Honor?
Okay, the only thing I keep thinking is if this is true, it kind of makes me lose a little respect for my favorite company, Ring of Honor. Because Ring of Honor has always been this company to share the wealth, share the talent, homegrown their talent, send their talent off to go somewhere else, and then they're like, you can see this guy that you just cheered and loved in this match even more here at Ring of Honor. And they're just going to quit doing that. And it just, in a way, it almost makes me sick because it almost makes me think that Ring of Honor's kind of gone corporate. Like they're turning into WWE, just not giving their talent out, not letting their talent be elsewhere, because if we're being bluntly honest, Ring of Honor doesn't pay a whole lot, and they don't do a lot of contracts. So it kind of...
Well, I mean, Ring of Honor doesn't pay a whole lot. I mean, when you compare them to the WWE, but for independent wrestlers, I think they're making a pretty good living. Some of the top guys in Ring of Honor, I think, make probably the top 2 or 3 guys in Ring of Honor probably make 6 figures, I would say. Maybe the low 6 figures. Just kind of getting into that territory, which is good. But I mean, when you probably take into account all the expenses they pay on the road and stuff, it might not amount to a whole lot.
Yeah, but still, they have a ton of shows. I mean, they do. God, last time I looked at their schedule, it is ridiculous. Like they do a lot of shows, and if they get paid per show, then it's ridiculous. But still, like that's taking money out of those people's hands. And they may lose talent themselves over it. These people like Adam Cole, he may be like, look, and if another thing, if we're being bluntly honest, right now, PWG is actually getting a ton of publicity right now. They're growing probably faster than Ring of Honor, which I don't think that PWG would ever, really, do the
PWG in comparison to Ring of Honor is, PWG is growing as this big super indie promotion where it's all about just having fun. You go to Reseda once every month or every couple months, you see some awesome wrestling, and then that's really it. But with Ring of Honor, they have a TV deal. Now they have a pay-per-view deal. They have sponsors to keep up with. So it is more corporate. And, PWG is just, we're going to do a show and we're going to sell some DVDs, nothing more, nothing less. And that's never going to change for them because that is how, Super Dragon and Excalibur want it. They don't want to make it any more complicated. They don't want to make it, into this whole big thing. If, like I said, the Legion Hall in Reseda holds maybe, 500 people max? Oscar, would you say maybe 500?
Yeah, I'd say 500. And but you got people standing by the door. That's a little bit more, but who knows? You can say 500.
But if PWG wanted, they could go rent out probably other buildings and draw, 1,000 or more pretty easily if they wanted to, because that's what PWG is now. But they don't do that. They keep it in the Legion Hall for all their shows, and they're not going to get any bigger than that. So it's weird because we don't know who in Ring of Honor is doing this. It's not Joe Koff, who's the main guy in charge, and it's not Delirious, the head booker. So you're wondering, well, who is wanting
this? Yeah.
Who's
making this decision? Yeah, well, I mean, the only thing I can think of, the only reason why I think they would do this is Ring of Honor is primarily East Coast, and of course, PWG is West Coast, and they pretty much have to travel across the country and then back again to do a show for Ring of Honor. And that's not going to be good for, it's going to make them tired, and they're not going to put on as good a show. So in that case, I kind of agree with Ring of Honor, but it doesn't make sense that suddenly they're going to stop being this, let's share the wealth, let's bring wrestling back, because that's what Ring of Honor has always been about, is spreading the love of wrestling. Let's bring attention to wrestling, and let's grow some talent, and let's share with everybody. I mean, they share with CZW, they share with PWG, they share with everyone, but why cut off PWG?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, is if they start cutting off PWG, who's to say that they won't start cutting off, smaller independent promotions? Who's to say that, all these promotions that rely on guys like Michael Elgin and, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong and all those guys who have Ring of Honor contracts to, come to their shows and draw some more people in, and then you take them off the shows and you're just kind of like, well, we were kind of depending on them to help us out a little bit, and then they lose money on it. So, I don't know. And, one thing I saw is that, it said that Ring of Honor was also concerned about, because in PWG, I wouldn't say, I think PWG, when most guys go there, they do the craziest of stuff. They get all their shit in, they go 150%, and it's not to say that they don't do that at other independent shows, but with PWG, it feels like they're trying to do more than they normally would. And then, there's concern within Ring of Honor that these guys are going to injure themselves. And I think to myself, well, you can get injured at any time. The guy can get injured in CZW as much as a PWG ring.
Yes, they quit giving people to CZW. That's what I said.
Off.
Yeah, quit giving them to CZW. You're going to get more injured in CZW than you are in PWG. You're safe. You're kind of safe in NJPW, but you can get injured anywhere. You can get injured walking down off your stoop in New York at wintertime when it ices over. You can get injured anywhere, man.
that.
Yeah.
That's what, like I said, that's the nature of it. People get injured in the ring, and then people get injured out of the ring doing the most stupid of things. It could be, like I said, slipping on ice, like you said. It could be, you're doing something, you get out of bed funny, and you twist your ankle, and it's just like.
I blew out my knee skateboarding, and it ruined my hockey career. So, I mean, anything like, and but of course, National Hockey League players, they're not allowed to ride motorcycles. So, there's that. But it's like you can't do that. You can't stop the freedoms like that. And they're going to end up like Red Dragon. I guarantee you, they make far more money at PWG and NJPW than they do primarily just at Ring of Honor.
Well,
like
like
collecting.
I mean, I guess so, but like I said, the amount of shows that PWG runs in comparison to Ring of Honor and New Japan. New Japan's doing it once a month, and
I know New Japan
PWG does it either once a month or once every other month. They skip months. There's no show in November for PWG. They're going straight to December.
Well, I know Jericho. I read his biographies, man. He says
they take pay cuts in PWG because they love it so much. Probably Super Dragon and Excalibur, say, all right, we'll pay you X amount of dollars, and they say, no, I'll take a little bit less. I love working here.
Yeah, but add that to an NJPW paycheck, and it's a lot. Like Jericho in his biographies talks about how much you get paid in Japan. Like you get paid a lot in Japan. And New
Japan, they pay. I would say for Gaijins, foreigners, they pay more to them for loyalty. Like Carl Anderson has been there, I think, 6-7 years. So he's shown loyalty to there, and Carl Anderson makes pretty good money over there, but only because he has loyalty to that company. He hasn't gone anywhere else. He hasn't stayed in the States, so that's why he gets paid pretty good over there. But when you're just starting out in New Japan, you'll make some okay money, but it's about longevity in that company.
Yeah, and the Young Bucks make bank down there because they're like crazy popular. But I mean, and Red Dragon, I mean, now that they're the IWGP Tag Champs, you can't not pay them a lot of money. They're good as a team, and they may be better in singles. So, I mean, the sky's the limit for those guys. But the Ring of Honor, I don't know what their problem is, and I don't understand why they're cutting off PWG alone. I don't get that.
Yeah,
it feels weird.
Oh, there's probably a frustration within Ring of Honor too. With the talent, and I'm sure Delirious is a guy that he doesn't care what you do. As long as you stay, with Ring of Honor, he's a very flexible guy. Delirious was wrestling for PWG and Ring of Honor at the same time, so he probably knows. So he probably doesn't care, and he's probably frustrated about this too. So, somebody said it's a lot like WWE in the sense where Ring of Honor is doing good. They're getting more money into their guys, are getting paid more and stuff. But there's like feelings backstage where it's just like, all right, now we're on the road more, we're traveling more, and it's like taking a toll on these guys, and it's definitely not a pretty situation. And I think a lot of guys go to PWG because of what it is, because of it is that super indie promotion, and they get to just go out there and have, so much fun. They don't have to worry about TV. They don't have to worry about pay-per-view. They just go out there and interact with that crowd and, just have a blast. No one says anything negative about PWG. Nobody.
No, and that's where the stability is.
Since it started, nobody says anything bad about it.
Yeah, that's where the stability of PWG is. It's like you don't hear bad word of mouth. I mean, I hear people from California here in Tennessee talking about, I went to one PWG show, man, and it was the best thing I've ever been to. And it's like, you hear that all the way over here on the East Coast. And, I mean, every time I watch TMZ, I watch it every night, and Ryan Satin is always wearing a freaking PWG shirt every single episode. And I'm like, I know that gorilla. And I'm like, oh, dude, that's a PWG shirt. And then I get on there, and I'm like, dude, I'm digging that PWG shirt on Twitter. And he always like, yeah, man, I got like a bunch of them. So,
yeah,
and then you hear Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey went to a PWG show. Shayna Baszler went to a PWG show. And, you know, the Four Horsewomen were at PWG.
WWE knows of PWG. Why do you think they sent William Regal there for the Battle of Los Angeles last year to scout Kevin Steen?
Yeah,
you know,
I want to know what happened with Willie Mack.
They didn't just do that because Kevin Steen, it was a random occurrence. It was because, you know, they could have sent him to Ring of Honor, to a Ring of Honor show. But no, they probably knew that in PWG you were going to see, you know, a fonder Kevin Steen and, you know, like
because
I said,
they got Willie Mack out of it.
WWE knows of PWG and they scout there pretty often. I think that's why they sent Brian Maddox there, but maybe that could be debatable.
That's what I'm saying. They got Willie Mack down there. I don't know why they send him back. Whatever. I think he would have been pretty good. I don't think Willie Mack fit their mold, quote, you know, and it's like, that's stupid, but whatever. I think he would have been a good addition. But they sent him back. There must have been a reason for it. Who knows? Maybe they're racist. That's what I hear. I mean, look at where they got Xavier Woods and Kofi now dancing on the screen.
I don't think we'll ever know. But the thing with WWE is Willie Mack's still a young guy, and WWE, with all the faults that they have with who they sign and, you know, what they do with those guys, even if they do sign them and who they release, WWE gives second chances. WWE is an open door company where they say,
Daniel Bryan,
you know what, you're always welcome back here, and who knows, in the future we may take a look at you again and say, you know what, now we want you in here, we want you in a company.
But then they're intelligent too. Look at Alberto Del Rio. He's like, tomorrow I'm going to tell next week I'm going to tell my story about why I left, what happened, and lo and behold, a week later they're like, oh, we've reached an agreement. He's free now. So he'd shut his mouth. It's like something happened. It's like now you know that something happened because they let him go. So I mean, they're brilliant that way. You will never find out the truth behind anything that happens in WWE.
Yeah, definitely. I want to give out my thoughts about this whole PWG Ring of Honor thing because I go to these shows a lot. I'm going to the December 12th show, which the tickets go on sale this Wednesday. And I got to say that if they do lose Ring of Honor talent, it will be a big blow to PWG. I really think it would be. But, you know, it's almost like saying you get knocked out by somebody, you got to get back up. You know, that's probably what they're going to have to do, that to get back up. And also looking at the roster, look at the roster if they do lose ROH China. Look at the names I'm going to give out.
Do they lose Kyle O'Reilly?
Hold on. Let me give you this name
of
list. Yeah, let me give you this name of list of non-Ring of Honor talent in the PWG roster. You got Candice LeRae, Joey Ryan, A.R. Fox, Peter Avalon, B-Boy, Brian Cage, Johnny Gargano, Johnny Goodtime, Chris Hero, Matt and Nick Jackson, Willie Mack, Anthony Nese, T.J. Perkins, Ricochet, Ray Rosas, Rocky Romero, Roderick Strong. If he wants to come back, Super Dragon, Rich Swann, Chuck Taylor, Trent, and Johnny Yuma.
Yeah, and most of those guys aren't on the show. But, I mean, I think it's set in stone now that Trevor Lee is going to be a PWG guy. He is going to be a regular out there. So I would push in the PWG regular up there. I think that Busick is going to be a PWG regular too.
Yeah.
I would probably put him on there. You know, they'll probably, and they can easily bring back Drew Gulak without a problem.
Yeah,
and like I said, this could, a lot of people are saying this, you know, even though it sucks, this could be an opportunity to get some new guys into PWG, get some fresh faces in there, new feuds going on.
Yep.
Well, is
Yeah,
Kyle
and-
O'Reilly still the champion of PWG?
Yeah. Yeah, see, this is what I was going to get to. December 12th. If this rumor is true, then possibly two things can happen. One, Kyle O'Reilly is dropping the title to Ricochet, which is very interesting. It's hard to believe that Ricochet is going to walk out PWG champion. I'm all like, You know, Ricochet's a busy man here, you know. He not only he does PWG, he does Lucha Underground, and I'm sure he still does shows in Japan. I'm pretty sure he's going to do a New Japan contract because, first of all, he did won the Battle Super Junior tournament. So, you think New Japan will let a guy who's not out of contract win the tournament? You know, they're going to try to do something with Ricochet. But
Lucha's fine.
Lucha
Lucha's Underground's fine the way they film. He'll be fine missing that because Lucha Underground films really weird. So that's not going to be a problem. It'll be the Japan stuff that'll be the problem with Ricochet.
Yeah.
By the way, Lucha Underground was awesome. By the way, you were 100% right.
Telling you, keep watching it. It gets better and better. You'll see. I wasn't.
Dude, it has.
Yeah.
2 episodes in, and I'm like hooked. That John Morrison, dude. Yeah, I was in.
Johnny Mundo.
Yeah, thank you. I couldn't remember I couldn't remember his lucha name, but I was like, dude, yeah, this is the first episode. I was kind of like, but then the second one, I was like, dude, I'm in. So yeah, you were right. Anyway, Kyle O'Reilly losing the title to Ricochet. Back to that. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, if he loses to Ricochet, this is just rumors true. I also could see that he does lose to either he beats Ricochet or Ricochet wins. Roderick Strong comes out after an impromptu match for the title, and he walks out with the title. And that's pretty much confirmed, guaranteed that Roderick Strong will come back. If you guys got to remember this, Roderick Strong is not contracted with Ring of Honor. You got to remember that. He could return to PWG. So is Chris Hero.
But that's why I asked, is Kyle O'Reilly contracted to Ring of Honor? I mean, he goes a lot of places. He is? Okay. Let's make it sure.
And plus, he's going to New Japan representing Ring of Honor. You know, even though he won the IWGP champion, he still representing Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I guess he did, because Red Dragon was kind of a Ring of Honor thing. I guess that makes sense. Yeah. I'd forgotten that Red Dragon started in Ring of Honor. I'm so used to seeing them together that it's when I see them apart, it's really odd for me, even though they're amazing. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
so,
that sucks, man.
But back to PWG for a sec, not going to these shows, you know, if they do get rid of Ring of Honor talent, you know, I'm going to be questioning myself next year. Like, okay, will all these outsiders from California will be showing up? Like, guys I've seen, like, they're from New York or from Arkansas, or from Nevada, Idaho, whatever. They're going to keep showing up to these shows without the Ring of Honor talent? That's my question. And I know Tom, a couple of times he come on here saying he wants to come to a PWG show. Tom, would this change your mind if PW or if Ring of Honor don't let their talent come to PWG anymore? Like, would this change your mind not coming to a PWG show in the future?
Because the PWG, like I've been saying, with PWG, talent comes and goes. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of PWG, not originals, but a lot of the older fans of PWG, you know, who, if you would have told them, would you keep watching if you would know that Kevin Steen and El Generico were leaving? And they wouldn't know, because El Generico and Kevin Steen were a huge part of PWG, and Kevin Steen even left PWG for a couple of years because of what Ring of Honor was doing, so he left there for a while and returned back until, you know, his departure. But El Generico was a huge, huge part of PWG. I mean, for a while, you can maybe say he was the face. I mean, he was the crowd's favorite guy. He was, you know, he was, I think maybe that's where you could say he was noticed most. You know, I think that's where he kind of just got his start and started, you know, becoming, you know, the El Generico character that eventually everybody fell in love with. So with talent, it comes and goes. Like I said, so you look at early PWG, they had AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, CM Punk was even in early PWG, and then if you tell those guys, all right, these guys are leaving, people are probably freaking out. They're probably like, well, we want to see those guys. It's all about rotating new guys in, and PWG, I think, does that better than anybody, and I think they can keep fresh. Like I said, that's why I think I look at it now, and if this is true, I think, thank God they built up Trevor Lee. I mean, he has become a huge part of PWG. It seems like he got noticed because of PWG, so a lot of him consider him a big PWG guy now, and I'm sure the officials over at PWG consider him, a homebred talent too, even though he's not from California. He's all the way here on the East Coast, but that's where Trevor Lee made his mark, and that's where he's going to keep going. So I'm not too worried. I think there's so much talent in indie wrestling that you could just keep bringing in new guys, and the crowds are going to keep, selling out the Legion Hall and keep paying the prices. We're going to keep buying the DVDs. And remember also, now that Kenny Omega's in New Japan, he was talking about it on his shoot. He said, if I was in New Japan, I'd be able to work PWG more. So now instead of Kenny Omega coming back to PWG once every 2 to 3 years, you could maybe see him, every 2 to 3 months. Maybe you'll see him at every other show. Who knows? But I think you'll see more of Kenny Omega and stuff like that, and it wouldn't affect me wanting to travel to PWG to see him. I mean, it would suck not to be able to see PWG Adam Cole because he's just the biggest dick ever, and the same thing with Roderick Strong. I mean, him, Adam Cole and Roderick Strong are just the biggest dicks there, and, they're completely different from, their Ring of Honor personas. So it wouldn't, like I said, PWG is going to keep, churning out talent. They're going to keep getting the best talent they can, and it would be a big blow, but, it wouldn't be like, oh, I hate this company now, I'm not going to support it.
You know what? They might as well do if they do fucking lose Ring of Honor talent. Might make an pay-per-view because think about it. You can have fucking Trent, Johnny Gargano, or SoCal on here, without a problem. You might as well do an pay-per-view.
Well, I don't think they can do pay-per-view because of, if they did an pay-per-view, then that means they couldn't get Rich Swann and Trent because they're signed to Evolve. And then you couldn't get guys like Biff Busick and Drew Gulak because they're signed with CZW. And CZW is doing their pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So you're talking about, already if PWG did not pay-per-view, you're talking about a roster that's very, very slim. And it's, it would be really, really slim. And I don't think PWG is ever going to do an pay-per-view unless they just get permission from Ring of Honor and CZW and Dragon Gate and Evolve, and they give them a cut of the price. But other than that, I don't see them ever doing an pay-per-view ever.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I'm saying it because those names you mentioned, like CCW, Evolve, don't they all do the same thing pretty much? So they could probably do something, but I think it depends on Dragon if he's willing to share with the management of Evolve or CCW. See what happens. I mean, when the guys from Ring of Honor talent was coming in, I doubt that's never ever going to happen because, you can't work things out with Ring of Honor, Evolve, and CCW for one event and for the pay-per-view, so forget that. But we'll see what happens. Right now it's all talk. But mark your calendar, December 12th. That's pretty much the day we'll start to figure it out if this is the last show that Ring of Honor talent will be appearing in PWG, because this could be the end. So all I know, I'm going. I'm planning to go, so I'm gonna try to join the show, even if this is gonna be the last time Ring of Honor talent shows up in the thing. But keep an eye on this though. Remember this though. Ring of Honor is doing a show in Vegas, March. Remember that. You don't think that PWG will do something that weekend? If that's the case, Ring of Honor does separate from PWG. You gotta think about that. And I'm also Ring of Honor gotta be looking if this whole Las Vegas thing, if it's a hit, like big time hit, damn well one of these days or sooner rather than later, Ring of Honor is coming to Los Angeles. I think they want to see how they're doing the West Coast. These San Francisco, Las Vegas shows, it's got to be something for Ring of Honor that hopefully it's something huge for them. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens with Ring of Honor.
I want to see a PWG show at some point, but that's not really my dream show. And I've already had all the WWE pay-per-views. I've done all the big four, so I'm not worried about that. My dream is NJPW. I want to go to an NJPW show, and Jeff Jarrett has said that he's going to try to next year bring one NJPW show to the States. And if he does that, I don't give a crap where it is. I will be there because that has always been my dream, to see a NJPW show. So I'm in, and I want to see a PWG show, Pat, though, because just from what Ryan Satin says it's amazing and everything. So,
it's great. California welcome you in open arms. So get your ass over here whenever you can, because I'm telling you, you will have fun. Trust me on that. Yeah.
Oh, if my friend starts working for Google again, it'll happen, because whenever my friend worked for Google, I used to come visit him in Los Angeles all the time.
You know what's funny?
It happens.
You know what's funny? Trevor Lee's dad just favored the tweet I just tweeted about. We're talking about the rumors of ROH and PWG, so he's probably listening to our show. Shout out to Trevor Lee's dad.
All right.
Trevor Lee is gonna have a big year. All right. So we'll see what happens with PWG, and let's take one more commercial break, and I guess we'll talk about some New Japan Power Struggle when we come back shortly.
Four Corners Radio is the home for the best professional wrestling and independent wrestling. Discussions and coverage. Billy, Ant, Martin, and Sam bring you three of the best podcasts every week. The Four Corners Raw Roundtable, the Indie Project, and the Saturday Freestyle. Along with the podcast, FourCornersWrestling.com is designed with all wrestling fans in mind. Feature articles, videos, the weekly shows, and much more. Four Corners and Wrestling Heads are teaming up to bring you wrestling's next revolution. Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready. I am ready for some New Japan Power Struggle. But before that, I just want to say that over the weekend it was announced that for people from California that's listening, IWL is coming back. The day after PWG will be December 13th in Baldwin Park, California. If you guys remember IWL, they had an pay-per-view with Young Bucks and Monster Mafia and a cage match. I guess they had issues with the stream, but I think this time what they're gonna do is that they're gonna film it for video on demand to be released the next day. So I'll go check it out. But so far only there's only one match that's been announced so far. Is Ray Rosas against Johnny Suave for the IWL Tag Champs. World Champ. I said Tag Champ. World Champ. And there'll be more in this card will be announced, and I'm sure the Young Bucks will be a part of it because they are the IWL Tag Team Champions. We'll know who to bring in. Maybe somebody that comes in PWG. Who knows? Because PWG is the day before that show. So keep a look at IWL, and hopefully it becomes a good card that someone like Tom could buy it on video on demand the next day and check it out, and hopefully he enjoys it. But anyways, Power Struggle. Who saw Power Struggle? Because I saw that shit. Tom, I know you did.
Stayed up all night. Stayed up all night, man.
Yeah,
All
me
right.
too.
I have a
Even
question
tell
for
the
both
dark
of you guys.
match.
All right, I got a question for both of you guys. What was the best match of the night?
Easily Ishii versus Goto. Easy.
Yeah.
I mean, Red Dragon versus Time Splitters was already great, but nothing. Ishii versus Goto was a match of the year candidate, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with that.
Yeah, those guys came out there and beat the holy shit at each other, man. Fucking Ishii's fucking face was all busted open. I mean, not also busted, but it's like from his nose to his mouth, all that shit, blood, you know. And they were just slapping the shit at each other. Like, God damn it. Jesus.
Nakamura Shibata was no slouch, man. But that was Nakamura Shibata was no slouch, but that went above and beyond.
Yeah, that was the fucking main event too. That shows that I'm one thing I'm happy with that match. That shows something like a match they treated how a main event match should be, and that was it. You know, and I'm also happy that New Japan does this, not like WWE, that if they don't have a title match, you know, a world title match, they might as well have the Intercontinental your main event, and that's what they did, and they put the two right guys to do it, and Shibata and Nakamura did kill it out there, you know. So, yeah, that's freaking, that was great. And but look, you know what's interesting? The end of that, after the end of the match, you have Kota Ibushi came out and then he attacked him, and then he grabbed the mic and he pretty much talked. And I guess you can say in Wrestle Kingdom you'll see a Nakamura versus Kota Ibushi possibly at Wrestle Kingdom for the IC title. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, that's what it's telling. I mean, there is already a sort of a card for that, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 6 or 7 matches already set up for a January show. It's insane.
That's Wrestle Kingdom. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. You know, and also we mentioned this plenty of times, this whole show pretty much, even skits called earlier. We got new IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions, which is ended up being Red Dragon, which that was the biggest shock for me because I did not see this coming, to be honest. I just thought this whole New Japan Global Force Wrestling got this deal going on. I don't know if Ring of Honor has anything to do with them, or they probably didn't. So I was thinking, okay, Red Dragon ain't gonna win because of all this. But no, they won it. So pretty much they're gonna be part of Wrestle Kingdom, defending those titles of what looks like to be against the Young Bucks. Yeah, Young Bucks, Forever Hooligans, and the Time Splitters in a 4-way tag match. That's what it looks like where it's going. So, yeah. But I want to have a question for Tom. Tom, what you think of Red Dragon walking out as your new IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions?
I like it. I figured that this was going to happen, but it was still awesome to see. You know, it was kind of like when the Young Bucks won it, it was like, yeah, like I know those guys. Like, those guys are fucking awesome. But them and the Time Splitters had a awesome killer match. Of course, I think the Time Splitters don't get enough credit. You know, they go in there with guys like the Young Bucks, with Red Dragon, and they always put on consistently awesome kick-ass matches. I mean, Kushida and Alex Shelley have such a great dynamic together that we don't get to see enough over here in the States, that I wish Shelley and Kushida could be over here in the States more tagging or even doing some singles stuff. I think that would be some cool stuff to see. But cool to see Red Dragon win those titles. They're having a hell of a year. And I think it's funny to see how Red Dragon and the Young Bucks have kind of flipped. You know, when the year was starting, it was the Young Bucks who were, you know, the Ring of Honor tag team champions and the IWGP Junior Tag Team champions, and now going toward the end of the year, it's Red Dragon.
Yeah, but you forgot one thing. Red Dragon have not yet carried the PWG Tag Team champs, which I don't think is going to happen anytime soon, but the Young Bucks end up carrying those 3 tag champs, you know? Yeah. So, that's something that...
Before we move on, I was gonna run down the card really quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so basically, the card went like this. Started off, of course, with Young Bucks taking on the Hooligans, taking on El Desperado and Taka Michinoku in a 3-way tag team match, and the Young Bucks won that one with more bang for your buck. Good opener. Then we had my least favorite match of the night, which was Sakuraba and Toru Yano taking on Minoru Suzuki and Takahashi Azuka. Very boring match. Geez, this feud has been going on forever. I want it to end. And this kind of led to Sakuraba and Suzuki possibly, at Wrestle Kingdom. Next match we had was Chase Owens defending the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship against Jushin Thunder Liger. Liger picked up the victory and is the new NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion. So Liger...
I want to comment that. I mean, I know Jushin Thunder is not an up-and-comer guy or anything, but hey, that's something that's big for him. You carry an NWA title, any kind of NWA title, that's great. You can see legend, but that's awesome for him.
Yeah. And those Japanese guys have held NWA titles in the past before. And I think people were talking about this. I'm not sure if it's certain. I think it may be, but this is part of Jushin Liger's retirement tour. I think he's going to be retiring. I think his last match may be at Wrestle Kingdom. I'm not sure. It may be a little bit after that. But this is kind of part of his retirement tour that he's going to be going on. So he gets another title victory under his belt and added to his career. So next we had...
No, I just want to say, if he retires, then, that's good for him, because to me, he has nothing left to prove. I mean, if he wants to go out, I mean, I remember him seeing in WCW, having great matches with Brian Pillman,
Jericho.
Late great Brian Pillman. Yeah, Jericho. Those WCW days were freaking awesome. And don't forget, the New Japan stuff was good, too, and Ring of Honor. Remember, you were wrestling against Daniel Bryan and... There's someone else, yeah. There's someone else
he did Austin Aries too, didn't he? He did Austin Aries too,
I don't think he did Austin Aries one-on-one. I thought he did Austin Aries in a tag match.
Oh, okay. That may have been what it was. I know they were in the ring at the same time at some point, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
But you did forget a match, the dark match. There was a dark match. I found it. Yeah,
because most people weren't going to see it. So
yeah, I found it on the mega video afterwards. It was, dude. If you didn't see that, dude, it was amazing. That was like the best dark match I've ever seen ever.
Yeah.
Tiger Mask and Fuego
with Bushi and Mascara
Dorada. Yeah.
Mascara Dorada taking on Fuego and Tiger Mask. I don't really like Tiger Mask. I mean, the original. I think this is the 4th Tiger Mask. And I don't think he's like, but
I thought the match was good. I mean, for a dark match, that was like
for a dark match. I mean, I saw it. And I thought it was part of the show, and then they're like, no, this is a dark match.
Yeah, that's weird how they show the dark matches. It's not exactly a dark match when you show the dark match. So whatever.
Yeah.
You were on Bullet Club, by the way.
Oh yeah. We had an 8-man tag. We had Bad Luck Fale, Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, and Yujihiro Takahashi. They defeated Captain New Japan, Tetsuya Naito, Koji Makabe, and Hanma in an okay 8-man tag. I mean, it was kind of all over the place at points, but still pretty solid for what it was. And then, of course, Red Dragon defeated the Time Splitters. awesome match. Go out of your way to see this. Great win for Red Dragon. Then we had Ryusuke Taguchi taking on Taichi for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. It was an all-right match. I'm not a big fan of Taichi or even Taguchi for that matter. So this was an all-right match. But it was after the match that made this amazing. They cut to the entranceway, and the Bullet Club was standing there, and they announced that they were going to have their new member, and you see them spread apart, and who's there? But Kenny fucking Omega, brand new hair. He's got the aviators on and a toothpick in his mouth, looking like a straight badass. His nickname now is the Cleaner, which that is such a fucking badass name. It is so simple but so badass. And he got on the mic and completely just destroyed the New Japan crowd, solidifying himself as a big-time heel.
Taguchi, though.
Yeah.
Taguchi saying that he doesn't understand English in English. That was hilarious, dude. Even the crowd
I was going to get to that, but that was hilarious. So, ultimately, this is leading to a match between Kenny Omega and Taguchi at Wrestle Kingdom for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, which should be pretty good. And I'm hoping Kenny Omega makes a huge impact on his first match and takes that title.
The title. He will. I'm calling it. He will take that title.
Yeah. All right. So the next match we had was AJ Styles taking on Yoshitatsu. Pretty good match. I thought it was a little bit better than I thought it was going to be, maybe because I haven't seen a lot of Yoshitatsu's work outside of WWE, which was very little to begin with. But it was still a good match, and AJ Styles eventually hit the Styles Clash on Yoshitatsu, which I don't know what it is about people with AJ Styles this year. First, Roderick Strong in January of this year. He gets hurt on the Styles Clash. And now you have Yoshitatsu. I guess it's that instinctive reaction to tuck your head. But, I mean, there's so many guys that know not to tuck your head for the Styles Clash.
Well, Yoshi didn't look as bad as some of the people who have really been. I mean, it looked bad. It still looked
bad, but it wasn't like as bad as Roddy's.
Oh no, Roddy's was horrid. I mean, it wasn't as bad as AJH's little scorpion that he did. Whenever I don't know what the heck I don't remember what he did, but when he did in that cage match, oh my god, that was like the worst bump I've ever seen. It looked nasty. So, but no, it didn't look that bad, but it's still like, and it was Yoshi's fault. That had nothing to do with AJ. So. I don't know. I don't think he got hurt though, so luckily he didn't get hurt.
Yeah, it might have been just a stinger, but still, like listen, if you're gonna take the Styles Clash, make sure to not tuck your head.
Yeah,
I'll take.
You know what's funny?
I'm pretty sure.
I was gonna say
this is probably leading to an AJ Styles Tetsuya Naito match at Wrestle Kingdom because Jeff Jarrett hit Yoshitatsu with the guitar after, and Naito made the save. So AJ Styles and Naito should be a pretty good match.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I remember I texted you, Tom, about this, and you said that you actually think a Yoshitatsu Jeff Jarrett match is going to happen at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yep, I believe so, too. I believe for an undercard match, I think it's going to be Yoshitatsu and Jeff Jarrett. I think Yoshi is going to want revenge. And
you think Jarrett's not going to be involved in the first pay-per-view that his company is presenting? Come on.
It's like, really? Come on. It's Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, JJ is going to be involved, man. Double J is going to be involved.
Well, watch him wear a Bullet Club tights on his tights.
All right, so the next match we had was Tomohiro Ishii taking on Hiroki Goto for the Never Openweight Championship. Match of the night, match of the year candidate. Everybody who has not seen this match needs to go out of their way to see this match because this was a stiff fucking match. These two beat the shit out of each other, This is why I watch New Japan, to see this strong style type of thing that I won't see anywhere else. And these two just they took it to each other. They took each other to the limit. And Ishii eventually retained the title. And also after the match, Togi Makabe kind of did a stare down with Ishii. So that is going to set up a match between those two for the Never Openweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom, which that should be stiff as hell and awesome as well.
Yeah, definitely. Man, Wrestle Kingdom is like very exciting already.
Yeah. 6 matches, 5 of them are for the titles so far. 6 matches, 5 for the titles.
And they're all amazing new matches, except for Tanahashi Okada. Yeah. But you can always expect that that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking at the card right now, dude, and it's insane.
Yeah.
I don't know how they can do it. Just too much star power, man. Our heads are going to explode.
Yeah. All right, so rounding out the card, we had Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kota Ibushi taking on Kazuchika Okada and Yoshihashi in just a regular tag match. And Tanahashi and Ibushi got the victory after a Phoenix Splash by Ibushi. Very good tag team match. You know, it was going to be hard to follow Ishii and Goto, but they had a very good tag team match. You know, it's hard to do a tag team match, you know, that's not for a title or anything when it involves your main eventers, because you don't want to go too hard or anything, but still very good match. And, of course, Tanahashi and Okada had to do the typical stare down because they're going to be meeting at Wrestle Kingdom 9 main event. It's going to be for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, of course, probably going to be another amazing match between those two, so looking forward to that. And then last match, main event, Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Katsuyori Shibata for the IWGP Intercontinental title. And, of course, Nakamura picks up the victory with a Bumaye, and he retains the title. And like Oscar said earlier, after the match, he was Shinsuke Nakamura was on the microphone, and out of nowhere, Kota Ibushi hit a German suplex on him, basically challenging him for the title at Wrestle Kingdom 9. So that's set up. Great show. I thought Power Struggle was great. I didn't know what to expect from the show. I knew Ishii and Goto was going to be good, as was Nakamura and Shibata. But the rest, I mean, besides, I would say 1 or 2 matches, maybe the Liger-Owens match, I mean, I didn't expect that to be great. And the Sakurabu Yano against Suzuki and Iizuka match, that those 2 matches were kind of the worst matches on the show. But other than that, I mean, the other matches were good to great. So go out of your way to watch Power Struggle. It's kind of like New Japan's Royal Rumble, I mean, you could say, because it's a big show leading into the biggest show of the year on January 4th. So
it's the road. Yeah. But, look at the card, man. For January, Tanahashi Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, Nakamura Ibushi for the IWGP Intercontinental, Taguchi Omega for IWGP Junior Heavyweight, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, Goto and Shibata for the tag team, Red Dragon, Young Bucks, Time Splitters, Forever Hooligans for the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team, Ishii and Makabe for the Never Openweight Championship, and Suzuki and Sakabara. Like, it defies all laws of fairness to all other wrestling promotions. Like that, that's like having Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker for every match in a card.
Yeah,
it's just not fair.
And that's why it's like all these matches are going to be something different. It's not like some of these matches are going to be, you know, the same. You know, Tanahashi and Okada is going to be, you know, a 30-minute just going out there, and it's going to be technical moves, and it's going to be them pulling out everything that they have. Nakamura and Ibushi is going to be interesting because you have that strong style.
I think that's a show
Nakamura going against a high-flying Ibushi, which I think is going to be interesting to see. Of course, Taguchi and Kenny Omega are going to fly all over the place. Yeah. And then, you know, the four-way match for the IWGP Junior Tag Team Championship. I mean, everyone's going to get their spots in. It's going to be a spot fest, but it's going to be, of course, all over the place. Ishii and Maccabee are going to kick the shit out of each other, as are Suzuki and Sakuraba.
Yeah, I mean, the curtain jerker.
And like I said, that's not even the end of it. We're probably going to see some good undercard matches, too.
No, a typical NJPW card has 11 matches. This is only 6. Like, this is insanity. I mean, even the curtain jerker, the four-way tag team match, the first match of the night, because you know it's going to be.
Like it's going to be. We're probably going to get Styles and Nato, too, which that's JJ and Yoshi will probably be on there, which, I mean, it'll be a fun match. Probably won't be anything technical, but it'll be a fun match. And I think Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson don't get the respect they deserve. Like, I think they're a great tag team. They're a heavyweight tag team. I think just a lot of people are a little hard on Doc Gallows. You know, I think a lot of people consider Carl Anderson underrated.
Yeah, and they're both good. I mean, it's just that they're heavyweight tag teams, and they're there for power and all that. You ain't going to see them flying off the top doing backflips. They're there for power. They're like Rybacks, except they can actually do things in the ring. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I wish people would just order this, man. I want people to see this.
Well, yeah. Well, people check it out. You haven't seen Power Struggle. Maybe you could find it on Daily Motion or something. But meantime, we're running out of time on the show, and I gotta say it was a great show, you know, from the start and the beginning. So thank you, Blog Talk, for not fucking up for us this time, because I really want to talk about PTSD and Power Struggle. So thank you, Blog Talk, for not fucking it up. And we'll be back on Thursday. Who knows? Probably we'll have more answers to this whole PWG thing. But then you guys can follow me at Sinister632 on Twitter and Instagram. I'm sure SmartCast would like my photo of Ronda Rousey from that day at PWG. And
right now, that's my girl, man. Yeah. That's my girl.
Please don't. Yeah. Please, you know, don't do no funny things in that picture. And follow Wrestling.
You're in it, man. I can't.
Follow Wrestling Heads on Twitter and Instagram. And we'll be back later on in the week on Thursday. And so I guess Tom, give out your Twitter, bro.
Yep, all you got to do is follow me on Twitter to tweet me, follow you back. You know, I'll try. I'm getting more into tweeting. I go on and off with tweeting. But follow me there. Once again, check out WrestlingHeads.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Check us out on YouTube. You'll find interviews, past shows. Anything you want to know is over there on YouTube, so check us out. And that's it for me. SmartCast, plug away.
I'm simple, at SmartCast. All there is, I don't have Facebook. I don't even use YouTube anymore. I am exclusive to WrestlingHeads.com.
This guy. All right, cool. Yeah, check out our website, WrestlingHeads.com. I'm going to try to get back to my Classic Match of the Week, hopefully soon. Maybe we're too busy, but I'm going to get back to it. So, just check out our lovely website, WrestlingHeads.com. And I guess until Thursday, me and Tom will be back. And while Skitz is on the street blowing out somebody, and we'll be right back on Thursday. And SmartCast, enjoy my picture. Peace.
Oh, I'm enjoying it. I'm picturing the arm bars right now.
She won't give me no arm bar. I'll give her the arm bar. All right, peace out.
Yeah.